Today, on the Terrible Warriors, we wrap up the first leg of our journey through Symbaroum and conclude the Promised Land adventure in Part 5 of our ongoing campaign. We're releasing these episodes week by week, so if you haven't listened to the first 4 parts, you should really go back, check them out, before venturing closer to the edges of the Dark Forest. This episode includes the final content from the Promised Land adventure that's included in the core rulebook of Symbaroum, so be advised, we're going to spoil the ending of this adventure today. Well, at least our version of it. Of course, if you plan on running this game, then spoilers become inspiration, and you can't run the game without the core book, which is why we've partnered with Free League to give away a free copy of Symbaroum every month during this campaign. Visit TerribleWarriors.com or check the show notes for a link to the raffle where you can enter in for a code to your very own digital copy of the game. This campaign is made possible by listeners just like you, who've decided to support us through Patreon at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. Listeners like Mermuse, Velian Pandelev, Ken Lutz, Matthew Baumgartner, and Silverwolf316. Find out how you can become a supporter and receive advanced episodes of our campaign at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. And now, the moment we've all been dreading. Bellun is lost to us. He has become an abomination. Enemies become allies in a desperate fight that we were not prepared for. It's going to take every ounce of courage and a lot of luck to survive Part 5. Blightborn. The elves call this time in our history the twilight of winter. The end of time is coming, and soon, and unfortunately, sooner than we would like, Davokor may awaken. Throughout this world, and it wasn't always this way, is a corruption. A growing darkness festering everywhere, just out of reach and just out of sight. And should you become tainted, that corruption will grow and spread until you become Blightborn. An abomination that cannot be saved, that wishes only to destroy and to feed. A darkness that will never slow down, will never back off, and will never stop until anything living is not. High above the Titans, on the path to Ambria, a new blight has been born tonight. The man known as Bellun screams in pain as his body rips open, and a new form of exposed muscle and clawed bone fingers, and a skull with thorned crowns sticking out of the top of its cranium now stands in the camp of our caravan. Ludo, looking down at his friend. The elves, seeing their quarry turn into the thing they were trying to prevent. The fire in the center of camp is even blowing out as this darkness is literally absorbing the light around. The entire camp has gone quiet. Everyone is staring as blood drains from their face. Many of them have never seen an abomination. Any that did hope they never would again. As Bellun Blightborn grabs the pike that Alindra had stuck into its belly, pulls it out of its muscles, drops it to the ground, and lets out a blood-curdling, screeching, gnashing sound from the mouth that was once a human. Welcome back. We're going right back into it. No time for roleplay just now. The turn order is what it was before. But the enemies are now your allies, as elf and man must now face the darkness together. And Verd going under his breath, I fucking warned you. You've got a big I told you so smirk on your face.
Oh, yeah, like... Yeah, trying to hold it back. Just like... No one wins when Verd is right.
It's true. Yeah.
We will start, for simplicity's sake, at the top of the round. The patron saint, standing in front of Bellun, Blightborn.
Well, he knows what to do. That thing's an abomination. Kill it with fire. So he's going to take a swing at it.
I read about this in church.
Yeah. He might have died fighting abominations. We don't know.
Yeah.
All right, so he's going to take a swing. Accurate minus any modifiers?
Against the Blightborn, the modifier is +2. This thing has no defense. It welcomes it into it.
Yikes. That's horrifying.
So it makes it easier to attack.
Oh boy.
It's not good.
I still missed.
You still miss?
Yeah.
You had to roll 15.
I rolled 17.
Oh.
Well, you know, maybe the patron saint is a little freaked out and it's getting some war flashbacks to the Great War where it died.
Yeah.
No, not again. I'm supposed to be looking after a kid from a vineyard.
Yeah, like, what is this?
Alindra, this is your jam. This is what you've got your friggin' beast lore
Degree
built
in.
around.
Yeah, your degree.
Yeah.
Oh.
I've just been preparing
I
my
was
whole
home
life
taught,
for
but it still counts.
Alindra sees this, and for the first time ever, she's a little bit kind of excited almost. She doesn't like, she's terrified, but also this is like a little bit like, wow.
It's that sense that like a reporter doesn't like bad news, but they also live for it. It's their job. It's their bread and butter. And it's this weird dichotomy of, I don't want to go and report on war, but also that's my job. And so I kind of also live for it.
Yes, that's very much.
Also, like,
Or that adrenaline of
Jurassic
like,
Park,
or even
right?
like a first responders, paramedics, firefighters.
Or
There's that
storm
feeling like
chaser.
they don't want to run into a burning building, but they also like
That's
what they're trained for. It's their thing. It's what
you just like dinosaurs.
it's their vocation. You just like
To bring them
dinosaurs.
back. Yeah.
Tornadoes are cool.
Yeah.
So, seeing this, Alindra's gonna grab the dagger on her thigh.
I like to think
and-
that Bellun's body was like shed like a snake skin as well. There's like bits of Bellum all over the ground.
Yeah.
Just kind of like sloughed off, landing in the fire, just like hissing, hits the fire, and the fire goes a little blue from like the chemicals of it. Is that too graphic?
No. Like,
It's
I'm
good.
grossed out in a
Content
good
warning
way.
at the beginning of this episode.
And is the thing the thing is facing Verd?
It's
right?
facing Verd because Verd pushed you out of the way. So it's looking down at you, and when it screeches out, all of this like sinewy spickle hits Verd in the face. It's all and then it licks its teeth, the teeth that are always open. The very Hellraiser, like with the mouth pinned all the way back.
Ooh, hot. Can Alindra flank it then if it's facing Verd? and she's sort of off
Absolutely.
to the side?
You also
Okay,
have to pick up your pike.
No, she's gonna
Oh,
go
you got
with
your
her dagger.
stiletto. Oh, that's right. You pull out your mother's stiletto, the one that fought in the Great War.
So she's gonna run and attack with her stiletto, trying to stab him in the back. Oh, 4. I did well.
Hey.
Yeah, that hits. So roll a 1d6 plus 1 and a 1d4.
1. 6. So that's 7 plus my d4.
Hey, wow.
8, 9. Oh!
9.
Damn.
So Alindra sort of assesses it for a moment and then sort of goes for the back of the neck because she's heard that usually is a soft spot.
Yeah. No, Verd's leaving. Like, you got this. Peace out.
Did I hit a pain threshold? Can abominations have them?
This abomination has such tough flesh that you dealt 2 damage to it. So you didn't get its pain threshold. It does have a pain threshold,
Yep.
but you're going to have to deal some serious pain to this thing to get through it.
The things in Symbaroum I'm most terrified are the ones that are easy to hit.
Guys, we're gonna fucking die.
That's okay. You got everyone else around you participating in this fight,
Okay, well, that's what Alindra does. and she
including
goes in-
Ludo, who picks up his axe. It's like,
Aw.
buddy? Buddy?
You okay, buddy?
And he just starts backing away, going, no, 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 no. And he wants to make a run for it.
Poor Ludes.
He just wants to survive. Verd,
What can we do against such hate?
Kill it, bitch.
Okay, fine. Jeez.
Send it back to the realm from whence it
Yeah,
came.
I mean, he has his dagger out and.
What'd you roll?
your dagger
Oh.
will deal 1d4 additional damage because you're allied with someone with this ADEP ability. So it is possible to get that damage threshold.
Wow, I can't believe that many
No.
points of damage. 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, like I only deal 6 damage and it has armor 7, so it's just like
6 plus 4. You can deal a maximum of 9 damage if you roll very
no,
good.
I already rolled. I hit and I got a total of 6
Yeah.
damage. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I like just smack into it and just can't get through its flesh.
Oh, God. I need to get my pike.
Yeah. Get your bike.
Oh, boy.
So that's it for my turn. That was good. Good times. Good times.
This would be a victory on so many other creatures, and now it's just like, meow.
Yeah.
Saren Ree leaps onto the back of Bellun Blightborn and begins sinking its claws into its back. And it's not doing a lot, but it is ripping flesh off of its shoulders as it's just clawing into this really, really tough muscle material. And it's just like, it's like, how gross do I want to get? Like a cheese string?
Great.
Ugh.
Peeling it. Go dry. Leaps down from the caravan, puts his bow into his back, unsheaths the sword, and takes what looks to be a vial and pours oil over the sword. And the sword now glints with the same kind of green, oily slick that the arrowhead had before, and charges towards the Blightborn. He passes by Verd and Elindra, so we're also going to be getting flanking bonus. There's now 4 of us on the Blightborn, so for anyone else to come in, you'll have to push someone out of the way, and slashes down with the sword. And the sword doesn't seem to do a lot of damage, but whatever was slicked onto the sword gets into the wound, and you see it starting to burn and sizzle into where the cut went. And it's going to deal damage over time. They were at least prepared for this.
We weren't prepared. What? Never. We've gone so prepared into every combat we faced.
Oh my goodness.
What?
That's a lot of damage.
Murder? Murder damage?
It grabs Saren Ree, who's on its back.
Oh no.
Oh.
Oh no, against Saren Ree?
And
Not us.
Once Saren Ree's gone, it will be us though.
and so its long claws that are like its fingernails have turned into bone. What it does is it doesn't throw Saren Ree off so much as it just reaches up and impales its fingers into the Baemon, lifts it up into the air, and throws it through the air. And as it does, you just see blood spilling out as the fingers just sliced into the bear. It hits into one of the caravans across the camp, hits the ground, and goes still.
Oh no. But has it turned back to an elf?
It has not yet turned back into an elf.
Okay.
I am actually going to, as a free action, while that's happening, I'm going to inherit its wound.
Oh.
Are you sure?
Well, I only take up to D6. Like, it's not like I take the whole thing. So I can take some of its damage at least.
Okay, well, you're going to take 6.
Well, it's D6 points, so I roll for it to see.
Yeah,
You roll to see how much you absorb.
Yeah.
Okay.
But first I have to roll against Mystic or Resolute to see if the power actually works. Oh, God.
Yeah, and is there corruption when you take Inherent Wound? Yeah.
Alright. Succeeds.
There's always corruption.
Always. So success. So I take D6 of its damage. That's 4. And then I have to take D4 temporary corruption because I'm only level 1 Theurg.
Ooh, boy.
That's 1.
Oh, good.
1 point.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take that much damage. That might be the only thing that's just kept Sarenri alive.
Yeah. That was worth doing.
It is now Yandrame's turn.
He's going to take some more temporary corruption, let me tell you folks.
What is your corruption up to now?
Well, it resets at the end of the scene, right?
Yeah, so you just took how much?
1, so I'm at 1.
You just took the 1.
Yeah.
A quick question. Sorry. So for your guys' corruption, it just disappears after our sessions?
Temporary
Scenes.
corruption.
Temporary corruption will disappear after a scene, and then there's also permanent corruption that sticks with you.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
But permanent and temporary corruption both count towards a corruption threshold, which can create stigmas.
Yeah.
Stigmas can be temporary if they're caused by the temporary corruptions. Once the scene ends, the stigma might go away. But if it goes too high, you can still break the circuit and still cause yourself to become a Blightborn abomination, even with temporary corruption, if you overextend yourself in the moment.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So do.
Usually when you learn new magical abilities, that comes at the price of a permanent point in corruption.
Unless you've got levels in that tradition, yeah.
Unless you have levels or you have a particular person teaching you how. There's other ways that create permanent corruption. Permanent corruption sometimes also is occurred by certain rituals because of the amount of time that it requires of them.
Yeah.
Where temporary corruption like Inherent Wound or Prios' Burning Glass just exists to the end of the battle. And then once you have a moment to rest and catch your breath, the corruption will just evaporate from you.
Speaking of Preos' burning glass, so he's holding out his holy symbol to catch the light of the fire, and then it gathers and reflects and shoots out at this
I like to think that Prios' Burning Glass is a sigil that was formed out of the bottom of one of your family's wine bottles.
Oh.
That's something you've kept from home. But no one else knows because it's all done up so intricate that like the green glass that the light shines through, no one actually knows it's from the wine bottle.
Right. I've filigreed it a little bit with some gold and added some stuff. So that's D8 of damage because it's an abomination. And then do I add the D4 as well for...
I'm going to say yes because this thing is so beefy and I don't want to spend a million years on this.
Okay.
Don't get at me on Twitter if I'm wrong with it. I'm just trying to keep the game flowing.
Yeah, that's 6 points of damage.
Oh, nice.
And that's 4 points of temporary corruption. So I'm up.
6. You only dealt 6 points of damage total.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
How many points of corruption did you just take?
I took 4, so I'm at 5 total, which is near my threshold.
Yes, it is.
Woof. Oh boy.
Careful now.
Yeah.
Careful now.
We might have to look after him.
Your golden rays of sunlight peering through licking tongues of fire. If someone were to look at your shadow right now, there's an overcast. The sun is going through an eclipse.
Sun's going down.
And the fire is very smoky.
The fire is smoky. The red flame, it's turning red, not golden. And it's like you're going through a total solar eclipse over your body as everything's got that hard corona that's still casting light, but there's a shadow in the center, and it's like sunspots that are forming all over your shadow. Patron Saint doesn't have to worry about that.
Nope. All right.
Patron Saint is a radiant embodiment of
faith in awesomeness. Yeah, that's a 6. That'll hit.
Yes, it will.
All right. D6 plus D4. 5.
Elendra.
Oh god. Having observed everything
The
happening.
stiletto is a really good object to keep using because it always has a guaranteed +1 on top of the die roll.
Yeah.
Because of its deep impact quality.
Thank god I specialized in abominations.
So that means you actually only have to roll 6 damage between your D6 and D4. You don't have to roll 7 because you get the 1 counted towards automatically.
Yeah, she's just going to. She's been going at this like double hands on the
Makes you wonder why your
dagger.
mother had a stiletto like this in the first place.
Me too. I'm very curious. And
I've been thinking about who your parents might be and how I can string things through, and I think it's going to be...
I'm incredibly excited.
I think we're going down a supernatural route of the family business.
Oh, yeah.
Where we find out that Dean and Sam were not the first hunters, and their father wasn't even the first, that the Winchesters went back in generations on their mother's side.
Okay, we're doing it.
Spoilers if you haven't watched Supernatural, you only have 15 years to catch up.
It's too late. Like,
yeah, you're behind. She's just going for another in the back. Well, it's
so you get your flanking bonus. You get the +2 defense bonus. So you're rolling +4 with your accurate.
Well, I roll a 2. So
oh dang. Okay, give me a D6 and a D4 damage.
And I already rolled those, and I got a D6 damage and +1 extra plus my 1, so that's 8 points of damage. 7 points of damage.
It actually sunk in damage.
8 points of damage. 8 points of damage.
It feels pain. How does it feel pain? It is darkness incarnate. Ludo's, I think he's just making a run for it. He's just breaking out the back of the caravan barricades, and he's trying to climb over the south side of the caravan, and he's trying to make a run for it out into the snow.
Oh boy.
Vaird's turn.
oh, God. Let's see if we can do this.
Come on, Verdi boy. We need your help. We need you to be good, because we're not.
No, I do not. I miss. Yeah, so he like slashes and like maybe the blood after throwing the bear thing over gets in his eyes. It's just looking around.
Oh yeah. I'm glad you saved the bear guy, because otherwise I was gonna run off and try and heal.
Yep. That was a needed thing to do.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying not to make that look like this.
What are you doing, Vaird?
Oh, I miss.
Oh, you missed.
Yeah, so unfortunately it's nothing.
Not blaming you, just sad.
Good luck, everyone.
Go Dry stands where Sarah and Ree was, standing beside you, Elendra, with its sword of poison, slashes again, and this creature just continues to, like, every time Godry's sword goes in, it seems like it's like acid eating into its muscles and causing it to like split, and you can see bone underneath and smoke rising above and the hissing, gnashing sounds coming from it. I like to think because of the teeth, I can't make the sound because it would hurt my mouth, but its teeth are clattering really hard against each other. Like, it's really unnerving. And it's just slashing its bony, clawed fingers everywhere. And right after Go Dry, the target, which is biggest and closest and did the most damage during their previous turn, it ignores the risk of being hit by free attacks. So it moves itself out of the range of both Vaird, the patron saint, and Elindra to move into Godry's place. And it's standing around, and it's moving around to grab Godry and toss it the same way it did with Sarah and Ree. So all three of you are going to get free action attacks on it. Yeah. Not that it'll do you much good.
Yeah, I slash, but it doesn't get through its armor.
I missed with the patron saint. Again, this guy is not a patron saint of fighting.
You're going to have to go to the church and talk about him.
Yeah.
There's a question.
Keep in mind, when you get all your experience that you're about to get at the end of this, you can also give it to the patron saint. So
that's right. Yeah, he's gonna.
We can make him nice and beefy.
Oh, I whiff hard. I got a 19.
Okay, all three of you give up 3 attacks that I just handed to you.
Yeah,
and it then moves in behind Godry. I tried to help.
We appreciate it. We're sorry. We're so bad.
Godry has its sword out and tries to dodge out. It misses the first attack as it cuts into Godry's silk cuirass. And then the second attack cuts through the cuirass and slashes down, cutting it across his chest. If he gets hit one more time, Godry will be down. If he takes that much damage again. It hits past his pain threshold, and he drops to one knee.
Oh, if it hits past his pain threshold, I think he gets another attack.
Well, I don't want to kill him in one round, so
That's fair.
this mindless abomination is not going to do that.
It's also player choice, right? So he could just go down. Like, we get to pick whether he gets another attack or if
He takes a free action to grab one of the random mule riders, picks him up, and just rips his head off of his body and tosses his dead body
Mule Rider, no!
over the caravan top. And he's just clearing through the crowd of, like, basically farmers and pitchforks that are all crowding around Bellun Blightborn.
Oh no.
Go home, guys.
Guys, I'm so sorry.
Yandrame.
Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna go for it, guys. This is gonna probably put me over my corruption threshold.
Oh god, don't turn into an abomination.
Can you imagine if
do
that's
this.
how this goes?
Well, first I have to succeed on my resolute test. So let's one step at a time.
Here, let's just run into the woods with the elves.
Which I do. Okay, good. So now so he's still freeming with his god rays. 5. Are you kidding? All right. 5 points of damage.
It hurts.
And only 1 point of temporary corruption.
Oh,
I'm
there you
still
go.
not over my threshold.
We're okay.
That's 6.
You're doing good.
Yeah. Never seen a stronger team before.
Yeah,
We've done
got
what?
this.
3
Patron
damage
saint.
collectively.
All right, patron saint. Still doesn't hit anything.
Oh boy.
Good
We're
lord.
okay. This is okay.
We're okay.
Okay, I gotta look up what the Sunstone does, I think.
No, Bartolom, no, my friend, no.
You have the Pios' burning glass does flame damage, right?
It doesn't specify that, but yeah, I assume so.
If the Lord of the Stone has powers which produce fire, he can use the stone for amplifying his fire spells. A successful resolute effect is increased by 1 step. So, Prios' burning glass deals how much damage?
1d8.
So this would go from a 1d8 to a 1d10. Or with plus 1d8 or with plus 1 if already 1d12. So it would go to a 1d10 damage.
Oh.
If Bartolom tossed you the Sunstone and you activated it, but it would deal corruption 1d4 if you did.
Right. Oh, in addition to the d4 that I'm also rolling for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to rewind time.
Oh, Yandrame.
Oh, I'm still gonna do it.
Or Bartolom can free the fire spirit. It'd be a resolute roll and can give the fire spirit a command, and the fire spirit would be able to turn the tide of this battle, absolutely.
Do it.
It's gonna be badass. Do it.
Yeah.
If you die, it'll be glorious.
Well, Bartolom could activate the corruption himself
Ain't he gonna die
and crack it open. So while this fight is going, you're a bit of at a range, right, Yandrame?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at least.
So Bartolom comes over to you and he pulls out the stone. Oh, Bartolom, everyone told you one day you're going to have to use this stone to fight an abomination in the middle of a midnight snowstorm mountain pass, and who knew that they would come out to be eerily exactly like that? Look, this is how it works. If I activate this and absorb the corruption, I can release the fire spirit. Now, we were supposed to use this against snowstorms and not Blightborn, but this seems like something that the Magic Ordo Magica would accept as like an authorized use of releasing a fire spirit trapped inside of a stone tablet from the days of Symbaroum, right? Right? Look, if I don't survive this, you pick up the stone and you'll be able to command it. Okay?
Very well. Good luck to us both.
I guess, can Alindra even hear this? She's whiffing on the Blight guy. Not Bartolom. My man. We were gonna go read books.
This corruption's at 0. What is corruption threshold based off of?
Half your resolute.
Yeah.
Half of your resolute?
Yeah.
So
Rounded
his
up.
resolute is 15.
Oh, wow.
So half of his resolute rounded up is 8.
He'll be fine.
He'll be fine.
So he'll still have 2 points left after he uses this thing.
Yeah, he'll be okay.
So, okay. He pulls out the firestone and he rubs his hand over the sigil on it, and it glows in his hand, and it seems to be reflecting the light of the fire in it. Hey, fire spirit! Time to wake up now. Could really use your help. Knock, 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 knock. I don't know how to activate this. Is this working? And he cracks it like an egg.
God.
And it's like a firecracker goes off, and it shoots up into the sky like a firework, like a flare. And then these wings burst out over the top. And you hear it just whisper, "Attack the Blightborn." As up his arms, like veins of corruption are moving up from where he was holding the stone, and he's holding onto it. It's like he's holding on to something that's like almost like shocking or electrocuting him, and he passes out. He'll be fine, but he passes out after giving the command. And the flare from above comes down, and you see this fey-looking, writhed in fire spirit tethered to the stone that it was trapped in that has been released. And it's going to join. It's going to join the party. It's going to go right before Bellun's next turn, actually.
Amazing.
Fire spirit. Now, the sunstone has been destroyed by doing that. It was very much a break glass in case of emergency moment.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, I can no longer give it to you as a reward at the end of this battle.
Okay, buddy.
That's all right.
I think survival is a better reward.
Yeah.
Patron Saint's turn.
All right. Don't whiff on me, buddy. Come on. God damn it. Moving on. We're just gonna move on.
Elendra's turn. What happens? What happens?
Okay.
Let's not just roll and forget about it. I like, even when you miss the die,
it's important.
I like forwarding the story. So the patron saint is having a bad time. The fire that just came down from the sky, the abomination. I mean, this is a spirit that is having a hard time making contact with pure corrupted darkness. So what if the flail of light is attacking and it is hitting? Every time it does, it's like it's
Glasses.
reflecting off like a lensing effect, where when he goes around it, it's like he's literally like warped around this body and he can't seem to land anything, and it's pure light of the patron saint is actually making it completely ineffective against fighting a Blightborn.
Let's do it.
And so it's like this, it's almost getting weaker from this, as it's unable to land any attacks.
Also, it's more corporeal because this is so dangerous that this is the most it is physically manifested.
Yeah, you're almost seeing it's not like a hologram anymore. It's taking color and form, and you're starting to make out the features of this, and it looks like an older you.
You're already dead.
Yes, that's the logical conclusion.
Yeah.
Yes. That forwards the story in all these failed
All the
rolls
ways.
there.
That's
We don't know
awesome.
the name of this patron saint. We don't know anything about them, their origins, why they are bound to you when you called upon them. They've been watching out for you and keeping eye for you, and you've never really seen their face because they're always a little incorporeal and they're more of a wraith or a wisp. But this time you're now seeing the face, and it just looks like there's a gray beard and like spider web wrinkles in the eyes and a resolute face, but the same blue or the same color eyes that you have, the same color hair that you have. It just looks like a 60-year-old version of you.
Amazing.
Wow. That's kind of cool.
My family might have been at this a while longer than I thought.
Elindra,
Oh.
you're the only one who's actually dealing damage to this thing out of the players.
Yep.
All the
Yeah.
other damage has been dealt by NPCs.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of hilarious because I really did not ever mention this, but that's fine. That's
You're just
wasn't how I
poking
built
it
her.
like you're...
And I'd like to remind everyone, I've only dealt 3 damage, so that's our full damage as a party so far.
Yay.
I mean, I saved one of the elves' lives.
It's only got... I mean, 3 damage is a lot in Symbaroum. Keep in mind, this massive motherfucker has 15 points of health,
That's good. That's good.
right? It's just got a lot of armor.
Now, a quick question. So
We're past the halfway point with their health, and the fire spirit is going to mop up.
Sweet. So I saw Gord. What is their name? Gorchik?
Gordrai?
Godrai.
Godrai.
I saw Godrai go down. But they're
Godrai's still in
alive?
it, and they're going to throw themselves into it. They're going to throw their life on the line here. But yeah, they take one more hit like that, they're done.
Okay.
Like they're bleeding. Like those were deep wounds across their chest.
Alindra decides this is not the moment to try and offer healing, and instead decides to throw herself at the creature for another one of those.
Anime moment, tears coming out of your eyes.
Oh, I got so lucky, guys. So I rolled a 6, so I hit.
Nice.
I rolled, my damage is a 4 plus 1, 5, and then I rolled 3 on my d4. 6, 7, 8. So 8 damage, so 8 damage again. We're at
Excellent.
4.
We're doing it. We're getting there.
We're chipping away.
We're chipping it. Verd.
I'm just sweating profusely. This is more actions than she's ever had.
Yeah, you're way in over your head. These kids are holding their own, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of. I mean, it's their fault. So
What are you doing about Ludo? Ludo is almost out of the caravan. He's out of the enclosure.
Oh crap, Ludo!
Do you want to deal him with like you dealt with Keller when no one's looking?
Just go for the headshot, bitch. Take him down.
You're so broken about it.
Well, like I need to protect these kids, so I can't just leave and deal with.
You're
that.
overextending yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that the winter will take him. It's not like he can survive out here without food or supplies. Hopefully, nature will just kill him.
Also, highly likely. Or he becomes an abomination roaming these woods.
No, that's horrible. Oh god.
But the elves would probably take care of him then.
If there's any alive. All right. Yeah, he's gonna go for a slash. Unfortunately, he doesn't deal enough damage. So like he.
Yeah, you're relying on Alindra's beast lore in order to get enough damage dealt.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my rolls are bad. Like he like slams his knife against like the knee of this thing, and it just kind of like cracks his blade.
Thank God I took Abomination, because I could have taken like wolf or beasts, and then where would we be?
Yeah,
fucked. You'd be dying in this episode.
Very dead.
Yeah,
super dead.
Oh.
The fire spirit has now descended down into the battlefield, and it has a long reach attack called Burning Embrace. It deals 2 attacks against the same target, and it deals 9 damage.
Wow.
Each attack.
Oh, hey, nice.
So that's 4 points against its armor, and it's burning it. So as it comes down, it reaches its wings, because I like to think that this thing is probably like a phoenix-looking spirit, like it's a big bird. And as it's lowering itself down from the sky, its wings just begin to reach out, its feathers stretch out, and it just begins to wrap itself around Bellun Blightborn. And it just begins to burn it and just cooks it. And you can smell it sizzling and cutting through its tough muscular armor as it just begins to brown and boil, and it's interacting with the acid from Godrai's blade, and this energy continues to pulse out of the sunstone that Bartolom was holding. Bartolom is passive; he's unconscious on the ground now, and the fire spirit just continues to just pulse heat and fire, and it's just cooking this thing. But the energy from the sunstone, it's like it's only got so much before it's going to be released, and the fire spirit will be truly free, and will probably be indifferent to what is happening around us here right now. But it's almost down for the count. Godrai picks up its poisoned blade and plunges it up into Bellun. Bellun gets one last turn. The fire spirit is too strong, it's too intangible and too far away. So it grabs the sword that was just plunged in by Godrai, pulls the sword into it even further, and then grabs Godrai by the neck and just twists his head.
No.
Yandrame's turn.
Yandrame's still holding out that holy symbol. So we'll see. Yeah. So
Yeah, you sure you don't want to inherit wound
Oh, on him?
of Godrai getting his neck twisted off?
I already did that on one of the other elves, and he hasn't done anything since.
done.
Justify
Yeah.
yourself. That's
Sarah
okay.
and Ree can thank you later.
Yeah. So he's gonna do that. He's going to roll his damage on this, hopefully doing something attack. It's 6 again. Damn it. And D4 corruption. Another 2. So he's over his threshold. So
And you're adding the 1d4. Just quick question.
yeah, I did add the D4.
Okay.
That was 6 with an. I rolled.
So that means you're picking up a stigma.
Yeah. So as he is holding out his holy symbol, where he's holding it, the veins in his hand start to go black, coming out of the holy symbol. And where those veins are, little wounds start to appear on his hand as he screams with the corruption that is slowly...
Yeah. The arm is pulsing. It's very much Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
like
love
the
that.
arms are like pulsing and boiling and then turning black along the veins, and it's moving further and further up the arm. And if it gets to the brain, you're
I'm
done.
done, yeah.
Right? And so it's moving up your arm. Your whole arm is like a little bit like also like Hulk and the Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
A little bit, right? So,
Man.
Patron Saint,
Okay.
you need to get your shit together.
Yeah, come on, buddy. Oh, I finally hit something. Okay.
Hey.
Yeah, that's a 9. All right. So D6 plus
The
4.
Flail of Night,
Oh.
1d4, 1d6.
Okay. 7 damage.
Patron Saint?
They had 1 point of damage left.
Ah, yeah.
Patty, you did it!
Yeah, buddy.
So the Patron Saint and all the fire, right? The fire of Prios, right? The fire spirit. The night became day as the flame spirit came down. And the combined power of the flame spirit, your burning glass, you're like, ah! And then this man who looks just like you moves in, the Patron Saint, with its flail of light, and the flail of light catches the flame from the flame spirit, and it catches fire as well. And for a brief moment, even the Patron Saint is on fire, and it comes down and it plunges itself into Bellun Blightborn. And finally, everything just begins to boil and heat, and it hits like a boiling point, and Bellun Blightborn just explodes. And it just splashing blood and bits all over the caravan. It hits the fire, the campfire goes out, the flame spirit extinguishes in the shockwave. Everyone's knocked back. Parts of the caravan blow apart. The snow is blown away or melted away from the explosion. Everyone's landing on the ground, and Argosto gets up. Is everyone okay?
Is Godry okay?
I think the elves had it, but otherwise I'm
Yeah.
all right.
Verd is rolling over, running to his crossbow, and giving chase to the other one.
To Ludo?
Now that he has some time.
Ludo's had 2 turns to run away since
Yeah,
then.
he'll just...
So there's just footprints in the snow going off into the
Yeah,
darkness.
he'll be tracking him for the night.
With Godrai dead, the turn weather ritual extinguished and stars begin to form in the sky. And Godrai's dead. Absolutely. I said one more attack and that'll be it for him. The sky clears up. The stars shine through. The wind blows the snow that was in the air away, and everything gets clear. But you see the footpath, the footsteps of Ludo running off into the distance. Saren Ree, the wounded Beamon, gets up, sniffs at Godrai, gives like this whimpering sound, smells the air though, and sees Verd running after Ludo, sees that Ludo has made a run for it, and hops over the caravan and runs after the footprints in the snow. Telk gets back up. Lestra sees Telk with the arrow, starts administering like first aid to the wound, gets some salves onto it, starts putting bandages around the arrowhead before removing it, because you never just pull an arrow out of a wound like in the movies. That's really bad. And Lestra begins to tend to the survivors in the camp and looking after the wounds as Argosto is looking around and taking stock of the damage and seeing where everyone is.
Helendra is going to crawl over to Godry's body. I assume they fell near each other. And she's going to start sort of like arranging them for a burial. And depending on how long before anything happens, if you go away to Ludo, she's going to start digging a grave for Godry.
Okay. Verd, are you following after Saranri? So we won't play it out. Well, as you're going down the path and you go around the corner, you're into the dark. You can see the light from the caravan behind you, the footpath going in front. The star and moonlight are kind of shining your way now as it's not pitch black under the clouds. And you hear a cry of Ludo off in the distance. And then you hear a silence.
Go follow the footsteps.
You get to a clearing where you see a scuffle, blood on the ground, and what looks like heavy drag marks moving off beyond a cliff face. When you get to the edge and you look down, it just goes off into darkness, into the night, off the edge of the Titans. The blood, the scuffle, and there's nothing to be seen off in the distance. If there's bodies at the bottom, they're thousands of feet down.
Yeah. It looks like a job well done. He'll turn around, comforted in the knowledge that this was taken care of, and return to the camp.
The snowfall ends, and the world returns to a peaceful quiet.
Oh, Bartolom is down.
Oh yeah, Bartolom is tended by yourself and by Lestra.
Okay.
Brought to a tent, rides on a caravan. He wakes up the next day. Did we do it? Oh, I broke it. He looks down at the artifact. The sunstone is now broken in half. Oh, they always told me, Bartolom, one day you're going to take an ancient Symbarian artifact, you're going to break it in half, saving a caravan for the Nightborn, and then you're going to have to explain to your professors.
He just Yandrome just puts his hand on it, just does the, like, lad.
There's going to be so much paperwork, and he goes back to sleep.
Poor Bartolom.
Poor guy.
It takes 2 more days of struggle, and the caravan makes it across the snowy plateau. Up to the last pass, the passengers get a fantastic view of the landscape that stretches out before them. Below in the distance lays Yondaros, the grand capital city of Ambria, towering over a farmland covered in swaying fields and pierced by glittering rivers. Here and there are patches of forest, burning in yellow and red. The patches become more frequent and grow bigger and bigger the further the gaze wanders north. And somewhere, far away, the trees gain mastery over the lowland, trees that together make out the dark and mythic forest of Davokar. It is probably only your knowledge of its existence that makes you imagine seeing the red flame of Thistlehold's beacon, located at the forest edge. Or Karvosti, the plateau ruled by witches and barbarian warriors, which cannot be seen as it lies deep in the woods. The same goes for the haunted ruins of old Symbaroum, and that is likely for the best, since the ruins are said to be monstrously beautiful, almost hypnotic in their overgrown splendor. Argosto interrupts your daydreams with a high-pitched order to mount up. As soon as the cookware has been stowed away, the break is over and the caravan resumes its journey towards Yondaros. The wagons sway on bumpy routes, with animals in front and exhausted travelers holding ropes tied to the wagons behind. Weary faces are gleaming with sweat in the chilly mountain air. Steamy clouds fume from mouths and muzzles alike. But despite fatigue and cold, the eyes of the travelers shine brightly as the pinnacles of the Queen's Palace, the Promised Land, is waiting for them to arrive.
We win! All right.
That's a win! You won, everybody! You didn't get either of the 2 hidden artifacts that were available to be added to your roster.
Oh.
One of them remains over the neck of Malrogan, the amulet he was clutching, and the other was the Sunstone, which you had to destroy in order to stop the blight. But you did solve, the mystery of the Blightborn, that big mystery there. You got to learn the Iron Pact and how far they're willing to go to stop the corruption in this world.
But seems reasonable when you think of how much
Yeah.
harder they're to kill once they're an abomination.
I loved the debate you all had about what to do with Bellun and Ludo. I thought that played out really wonderfully. Lestra, without either Ludo or Bellum to learn from, at this point breaks away from the caravan and continues along the Titan Mountains to the monastery of the Twilight Friars. Bartolom will continue to Yondaros to meet up with their chapter head to report on the soil samples they bought from old Alberador and explain to them why their priceless artifact of the Sunstone had to be destroyed. Usually fighting an abomination tends to be a good enough excuse during the investigations.
Mm-hmm.
Argosto this is his last journey over the mountains. He's not going back. There's no one to bring over. The refugees are all but finished now. Telk will continue bringing his caravan back and forth. He doesn't know what else he would do. And he's got to go back and find Keller's body. return it to the thieves.
Telk.
And as for the 3 of you, well, we'll find out what happens next time. What we're going to do is that what we just played was the built-in tutorial mission that's at the end of the core book. But we are going to start in the next episode, the first chapter in the Throne of Thorns Chronicle. This is a part where I'm going to be putting spoiler alerts for those about it. Now, spoiler alerts come with a big asterisk because even with us, every time you play through this chronicle, you're going to have a different experience because it's very, very, very open-ended. And I understand that if you're listening to this, you're probably going to be the one who ends up running the game anyways. So the spoilers aren't going to be as much spoilery anyways, because you're going to need to read the spoils before you end up playing and running the game yourself. So I hope that you will take this as an opportunity to treat it as a teaser of what your game that you will run would be like. And I hope that the spoiler alert at the beginning won't ward you away from listening. It's going to be a lot of fun. And with that said, I don't even think we'll reach the end of the Wrath or the Warden's Wrath, or Wrath of the Warden, but we'll try and get as far as we can and likely end on a very unsatisfying cliffhanger, just like a Netflix show that got canceled in the first season. But when we meet up with our crew, we're going to skip ahead a few months, because Wrath of the Warden asks that you have more experience than we currently have. It's not going to be a beginner mission. So we're going to spend a little bit of time between this episode and the next episode adding our characters up, adding some more experience, giving them some backstory, figuring out why they are now in Thistlehold, why they're still together. Vare doesn't want anything to do with them. Why is he still with these 2 kids? What's going on? We will keep recording that conversation. It'll only be about 20 minutes, I think. And I'll throw it up on our Patreon page so that if you want to hear that behind-the-scenes meta talk, it'll be available for you to listen to. But I don't think it'll matter much towards the story. Only that you need to know that in the next episode, we are going to jump. So treat the Promised Land bit that we just played as like the cold open in the TV show. And right when they reach the top of the mountain, the camera pans up and Symbaroum's title card comes across the screen. And then it just says 2 months pass. And we're now in the square of Thistlehold. And our 2 kids, Iandrome and Elendra, are going to be a little bit more weather-worn by the time we meet them, a little bit more battle-hardened. And Verd is going to be a little more tired, ready to get to the end.
Buddy.
We'll return to Symbaroum, but in the next one, we will begin the Throne of Thorns Chronicle.
Oh, yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Terrible Warriors return every Tuesday with new episodes playing Symbaroum. If If you'd like to know how else this story could have ended, there were a few different paths that they could have taken. The best way to find out is to read it yourself in the Symbaroum core rulebook, and we can help you with that. We're offering one lucky listener each month a free copy of Symbaroum. For more information, check the show notes or visit terriblewarriors.com. To learn more about Symbaroum, visit freeleaguepublishing.com. And if you like what we're doing and you want us to do more, we exist only thanks to continued supporters from our Patreon page at patreon.com/terriblewarriors. By becoming a supporter this season, you'll receive a special role in our Discord server, and for $5 a month, you will also receive each episode in our campaign 1 week before everybody else. For $15 a month, you'll still get those early episodes, you'll still get the Discord server role, you'll also be invited to join in our private game that I host every month for our terribly important Patreons, the Tip Club, a virtual game that I run for you. There's still time and space at our table to join up, so check that out if you'd like to join in, and if you'd like me to be your GM, I'd love for you to be my player. Your Terrible Warriors today have been Mitch Wallace, Sean Horbachuk, Ainsley Moores, and me, Justin Eacock. Editing and production is also by myself. Music is licensed to Repdemic Sound. Next week on the Terrible Warriors, we leave the Titan Mountains behind. We skip ahead a few months, and we meet back up with our characters inside the walls of Thistlehold on the edges of the Davokar forest. Little do they know that darkness has been brewing there for weeks, and soon the alarm bells will ring, and they will be the only ones who know all the pieces of the puzzle to put it together. Will they be able to warn everyone before it's too late? Or will they suffer from the wrath of the Warden?